Hello everyone and welcome to the UK's only TV show dedicated to your mental health and well-being, the Chrissy B Show. Now, are you a glass half full or a glass half empty kind of person? When you face obstacles, do you get upset or do you find another way? It's said that the way a person thinks about and reacts to events in their lives can influence their mental health. Today we are honoured to have with us someone with a very positive outlook on life, entrepreneur and founder of Climb Online, Mark Wright, who also won the Apprentice in 2014. He'll be sharing his inspiring story of success from starting up his first business to leaving Australia in 2012 to go travelling, which then led him to London. He'll also be telling us his journey to win BBC One's The Apprentice in 2014 and finally how he built his multi-million-pound company with business partner Lord Sugar. Plus, Mark will be giving all of us some advice on how to have a positive mindset when the going gets tough, and also some other useful tips too. So make sure you stay tuned. Now, if you want to get involved in this, you can tweet us at Chrissy B Show. You can comment on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show, and also leave a comment via our website, chrissybshow.tv. We'll also be going to show you some videos of the first ever business funding show in London. We also have Hannah Richards with a brain food breakfast because, of course, for a positive mindset, you need to be very healthy. And we also have Ben Cooper with a fitness tip. And later on, I'll be sharing 4 steps to being more positive. But first is the news with Jenny Cortez Ibanez.
Hi Chris, this is Jenny doing the news segment for you here in central London. So today is all about the inspirational and successful story of Mark Wright from The Apprentice. So what I want to do is bring you some more motivational news from today's world. Starting off with the inspiring story of a 106-year-old woman who met President Obama very recently. So Virginia McLaurin, who was born in 1909 in South Carolina, this was a time when segregation was law and women did not have the right to vote. Now, when President Obama was elected, she pretty much made it her mission to one day get to meet the man himself. And only recently did that dream come true. She was overjoyed, as you can imagine, and could not stop her feet from dancing when she got to meet President Obama and the First Lady Michelle Obama. And this was part of the Black History Month celebrations. And the White House recently posted a video of the meeting, so as you can see now in your screens. And she's also quoted to say, Virginia said, "I thought I would never live to get in the White House. And I'll tell you, I am so happy a black president," McLaurin said, smiling widely as she posted for a photo with the pair. And she also was quoted to say, "And I'm here to celebrate Black history." Now, McLaurin has lived in northern Washington, D.C. since her husband died in the 1940s, and she still volunteers 40 hours a week at a local school working with disadvantaged kids. How nice of you, and congratulations to you, Virginia. Moving on to our next story, all about Well Child Awards 2016, which is coming up very soon. So nominations are open to honour inspirational children and young people with serious illnesses. Now, these awards were last year attended by Prince Harry, and one of the award winners was little Nellie Mae Evans, who won Most Inspirational Child for the category 7 to 10 at the awards which were held here in London. Now, this is a little 9-year-old who was born with a heart condition that meant she needed a heart transplant at just 11 months old. Since then, she's battled cancer, suffered several strokes, and also had epilepsy. And there are actually 6 categories open for nominations for this year's awards, starting off with Inspirational Child or Young Person. Now, this is a child or young person between the ages of 4 and 18 who has kept smiling against all odds in coping with or overcoming serious illnesses. The next award is Most Caring Child or Young Person. So this is an award for a child between the ages of 3 and 18 who devotes much of their time and energy to care for a friend or sibling who is sick. The next award we have for the Inspirational Nurse. So this is a nurse working with children and young people who goes the extra mile for the children in their care. Moving on to Inspirational Health Team. So this is an award for a team of doctors, nurses or other healthcare professionals in either a hospital, clinic or doctor's surgery who work together to make a huge difference to the lives of seriously ill children. And finally, we have the award for Outstanding Professionals. And this is for any professional, either a physiotherapist, a doctor, a social worker who has worked above and beyond for children and young people in their care. Now, these nominations are open till the 2nd of May, so get voting. And we have just enough time for one more story. So will it be a successful ending and story for Leonardo DiCaprio? So this year we have the Oscars happening very soon, which will be held on the 28th of February 2016 at the Dolby Theatre in Hollywood, California. Now, one of the most anticipated awards and most talked about awards is the Best Actor, Gong. And of course, Leonardo DiCaprio has been nominated, and this is his 5th nomination for the Academy Awards. And this time it's for his film The Revenant. Now, Leonardo DiCaprio has started off with a very good this year, with winning the BAFTA Awards here in central London for Best Actor for the same film. But he's also been nominated previously for the Oscars for The Wolf of Wall Street back in 2013, Blood Diamond in 2006, The Aviator in 2004, and he was also nominated for the actor in a supporting role for What's Eating Gilbert Grape in 1993. So good luck, Leonardo DiCaprio, and hopefully we get to hear more inspirational stories and news next time. Back to you, Chris, in the studio.
Thanks very much to the lovely Jenny there. So now it's time to go to Ben Cooper with a fitness tip, because again, to be positive, it's really good to look after your physical health. Let's take a look.
Hi and welcome to the Move 360 Studios. My name is Ben and today we're here for the Chrissy B Show to give you some general tips on fitness, lifestyle. Specifically today we're going to talk about running. So running is something that you can do, it's free, you can build up to it slowly, so a good place to start is walking. It's great for your cardiovascular fitness. And it will also help to tone and stretch your muscles as you begin to walk and then transition into running. I recommend starting to do some regular walks 2 or 3 times a week at least for about probably 3 to 6 weeks, and then start to build up to do maybe 2K runs, then up to 4K runs, then 6K, and you should just gradually build up your running until you're up to a level where your body can handle it, because whilst running is good, it's also quite stressful on the body. So not just the cardiovascular system, but the muscular system and the fascial system as well, which is the connective tissue around the body. So start with walking, build that up, get your cardiovascular system going, then after about 3 to 6 weeks, build into your body some running so it gets used to it, and that will really help your cardiovascular system. It will start to tone your muscles, stretch your muscles, and also just get you to feel so much better during the day.
Well, after the break, I'll be speaking to Mark Wright, who's the founder of Climb Online and also the winner of the BBC's The Apprentice 2014. So don't go away. Hi, I'm Chrissy B and my show is all about improving your mental health and being happy. Join me every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 10 p.m. on my channel Sky 203. Visit chrissybshow.tv for more information and subscribe to our YouTube channel Chrissy B Show. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Chrissy B Show and on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. Welcome back everyone to our program all about the secrets to a positive mindset. Now before I meet my special guest for today, let's take a look at this video of day 1 of the first ever business funding show in London. Hi everyone, Chrissy here for the Chrissy B Show, which is the UK's only positive mental health and wellbeing program out there. So today we're actually at the Business Funding Show, which is a 2-day event. And you may be asking yourself, what does this have to do with a person's mental health and well-being? Well, basically, when people have goals, when people have dreams, it can be quite disheartening when you don't get to achieve those dreams for whatever reason. And a dream that many people have is to actually start their own business and make that business successful. So an event like this gives an opportunity to people who have a business that are not sure what the next step is. They need some advice, they need some funding. They can come here and talk to people and even get some potential investment in their business. So we're going to be checking out the show today. We've got some great people that we're going to be speaking to, people that are very successful, and they'll be telling us some of their secrets too. I'm now here with business expert and mentor Jonathan Farland. All of you who watch the show, you are familiar with him because he is one of our resident guests on the program. So today we're at this great event, the Business Funding Show, and you have decided to actually sponsor this event. Can you tell us why, Jonathan?
Well, it's a pleasure to be one of the main sponsors here for Rockstar Hubs, and we're sponsoring the investment zone. So this show is all about providing business owners, startups, growing companies access to funding. And we're currently sponsoring the investment area of private money going into these companies. Why have we sponsored it? We do a lot of private investment. So we're always looking for, and we've had some great people today who have got really good businesses. They've made some traction in the market, and they can show and give us that evidence that they have something that the market is looking for.
So now I'm here with Richard Reed, co-founder of Innocent Drinks and also Jam Jar Investments. Hello, Richard. Thank you so much for speaking to us today.
Aren't we having a lovely time?
We are indeed. Now, you said it during your talk about putting out the product at a music festival. Where did that idea come from?
The idea of doing the simple market test it solved a real problem. We needed to know, were we mad, or because we thought they were great, our parents thought they were great, but they're going to say that anyway. We needed some people that didn't know us, that had paid good money for it, to tell us that they loved it. That's what the market test was all about. It was just a stall at the music festival that just had a sign above it that said, should we give up our jobs to make these smoothies? Had a bin that said yes, and a bin that said no, and had 500 bottles of homemade smoothies.
Now, Richard, why do you think it was so important for you to come to this event, and what's it like working with Arena?
Well, my mission now is to help entrepreneurs set up their business, and this is all about helping entrepreneurs get the money to do it. And there's a lovely sort of story to it, because it's also the first time that you've done it. So hopefully there's a double help. I'm helping my fellow entrepreneur here whose business is setting up business shows. And I'm also hopefully, not saying I have, but hopefully I'm helping the people that are here to learn about how to get funded.
I'm now here with David Buttress, who's the CEO of Just Eat. And David, a really nice talk that you gave inside there. But can you tell us a bit about the humble beginnings? Because I heard it inside, but just for the benefit of the viewers.
Yeah, so Just Eat actually, myself and the partner Jesper Book, we actually started the business from a basement. So we were bootstrapped, we had no money. So we were working long hours with very little cash. So for us, there was no easy ride. It was long hours and hard work.
Now, there was actually a point where you were thinking of not even going ahead with this. Can you tell us what changed your mind?
Yeah, I think the one thing that changed our mind was growth. So what happened was, in the first month, we actually only turned over £27. But then what we could see in months 2 and months 3 is the company was growing so quickly. So we literally turned £27, £300 of turnover, £2,000 of turnover. And when you experience that growth, that gives you the confidence and belief that you've got something that can really grow and be scalable. So that's what made us carry on.
I'm now here with Mick Gordon, who's actually here with, you have 3 inventions, Mick, haven't you, which you are trying to get...
World-changing inventions.
3 world-changing inventions, which you are trying to get to market. So why in particular have you chosen this show today to come to?
Well, basically, when you're developing an invention, you're developing prototypes, you're developing patents, IP. It's a money pit. It really is. Now, the products I'm working on are very exciting. They're very scalable. However, I could use 2 things. Number 1, some finance and some advice some mentoring, but particularly the finance. And these sort of things, it's very difficult to find a really good professional forum where you're going to be able to talk to people who have access to finance or who have advice to give you as to where I could obtain finance concerning the sector that I'm working within, my inventions address.
Well, everyone, we're reaching the end of day one here at the Business Funding Show. I've met some great people, interviewed some fantastic entrepreneurs, and we've met lots of people that are looking to further their business. So it's been really good talking to everyone, and we'll see you again tomorrow. And we'll be showing you day two a little later. So now I have the great pleasure to introduce Mark Wright. Hello, Mark.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, it's brilliant to have you.
I love the place. I love what you've
love
done with
it?
the place.
Oh, thank you.
I feel happier already.
That's good. That is what we tried to do.
Exactly. It's the studio.
Oh, so Mark, we did meet you at the Business Funding
Indeed.
Show as well.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that a bit later on. But first, I want to know all about you because you are a very positive person, and I know you've been through quite a few things in life, and you had that positive mindset, and you got past everything to be the success that you are today. But tell us about yourself growing up, first of all.
Oh God, well, thank you very much, and again, thank you for having me. It's been a big journey to get sat here today, certainly. As you can tell from my accent, it's not English.
Yeah.
I'm from a long way away. I'm from the outback in Australia, or a little country town. One of our closest major cities is Sydney, 6 hours away, so it's a bit different to over here. But the town I'm from is you leave school and you go and work somewhere locally in the town, and that just wasn't for me. When from a very young age I wanted to be a businessman, and I really inspired to be like a Richard Branson, a Lord Sugar type figure, but I didn't know what type of business was for me. So I think that's one of the keys I often go and tell people now is you don't need to know what you want, what the goal is or what you have to do. You just need to know, that you want to make something of yourself and have that positive mindset, as we're probably going to go on to talk a lot about. And for me, the town I was living in was too small, so I went travelling. Yeah. Okay.
Where did you go travelling?
So when I finished school, I became a personal trainer, and I wanted to run a business so badly. I was like, which is the business I can get into straight away? And I enjoyed health and fitness, so I became a personal trainer, and I was training one of the richest men in Australia at the time. He owned all of the power companies in the town. And I said to him, how do I get rich? How do I be successful? And he said, my son, don't be a personal trainer. So that's sort of where the story all started. So I was like, right, well, what am I going to do now? So I went and worked at a personal training college that taught people how to become personal trainers, where I did my certificate. And the boss of the company said to me, we need a website, and we need to get that website up Google because that's how everyone's getting business these days. And I was like, well, I'll learn how to do that for you. So I taught myself how to make a website, and I got his website up the top of the listings on Google. And all of a sudden we went from $2,000 a month in takings to $240,000 a month in takings. And I thought to myself, well, I either need to go and do this for other companies or I need to do this for myself. So what I decided to do is go and teach and train other companies how to do that with Google. But before I did that, I thought, well, what am I going to do I'm still 20 years old. I want to travel for a bit. So I bought a round the world ticket, and I just started backpacking around the world. I had a bag, one bag. I had 2 pairs of jeans, 3 shirts, and some toiletries.
You go by yourself?
Yeah, and I went by myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
So brave.
So that's pretty much what happened. I spent the best bit of 2 years on the road, traveling around Europe and around sort of everywhere you could go.
What did you gain from that experience traveling?
It was unbelievable. It was probably life-changing and life-defining because I was very young when I travelled, and I did it on my own, and there was days at a time. I remember once I went 2 days without speaking to another person. I had to travel from a town to a town in Europe, and I was on a train for quite some time, and I didn't speak or engage with another person. And when you have that sort of time with yourself, I had no phone, no laptop, because this is quite a while ago. you really learn to be, you know, in your own company and be comfortable with who you are, and really focus on where you want to go and where you've come from, and you get so much time to think, and it really made me more determined than I was when I left Australia.
That's really good, because I think people don't do that enough, just to sit and think about their life and what they want to do, because all rushing around and, you know, social media and everything, it just takes over. But to just think and stop and think, stop everything you're doing and just take that time for yourself.
You know, we live in this world now, as you say, you've got your phone, you've got your laptop, there's things buzzing around you all the time. I have so many apps on my phone for 5 different social medias. They're all going off. I got texts, phone calls, and you actually don't stop and think for a second, you know, about yourself and what you actually want and what you're actually doing with your time. And that's where traveling really made me focused. And it taught me to deal with a lot of different cultures, a lot of religions, a lot of diversity. Because when you come from Australia, I'd been accustomed just to Australian people. I'd never seen so many different religions and different types of people and different ways of thinking. Unbelievable. And that's really helped me in business, because I've been able to do business with people from all different walks of life, because I've travelled and been to their countries.
Okay, so you ended up in London eventually.
Yeah, well, the funny story is London was my favourite city when I travelled. I had my 2 favourite were Berlin and London. And to be completely honest, I ran out of money. So I got to £117, I'll never forget it. And I was in London and I was living in a hostel, and I was like, I have £117 left. I either need to move back to Australia or I need to get a job. So I didn't have a phone, or I didn't have a laptop, so I went to an internet cafe, I made a CV, and every day for 2 weeks I walked from Victoria to Hammersmith with a CV, and I handed it in at every single business I could see until
That's
finally...
the way things used to be done. You just walk into a place and hand your CV in.
I don't even think it was being done like that then. It's not that long ago. I didn't have any other means of doing it, and when you're from a small town, that is still the way people do it where I'm from. So I think
it's nice.
I was bundling into companies with a CV, knocking, going, got any jobs going? And people were looking at me with the weirdest look, like, what is this guy doing? But it worked, and I got a job at an internet marketing cafe, because obviously I was going for, you know, getting the websites on the search engines type jobs. I got a job with a company, and I worked my way up from sort of living in a hostel. I had to go for the first few weeks from the hostel, because I was living there, into this company. It wasn't, I had my suits hung up on the bunk beds, and people sort of travelling from all different walks of life around. It was a bit odd. And then we finally got through it and found a flat and settled in. And I did it for the best part of 2 years, and I really got to know London, and I got to know the UK, and I got to really find what I wanted to do for my career. It was a really, really good time for me.
Now, something else, obviously things progressed after that, but we're going to talk about that after the break, because we need to go to a quick break, and then we're going to be finding out more, and also how Mark started tried to start his company, but he faced some obstacles, I would say. So don't go away. Hi, I'm Chrissy B, and my show is all about improving your mental health and being happy. Join me every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 10 p.m. on my channel Sky 203. Visit chrissybshow.tv for more information, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Chrissy B Show. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Chrissy B Show, and on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. Welcome back to our show, all about the secrets to a positive mindset. So I still have Mark Wright with me, and I'm going to continue speaking with him in just a moment. But first, let's take a look at day 2 of the Business Funding Show. So everybody, this is now day 2 at the Business Funding Show here at the Old Billingsgate. Day 1 was fabulous, we spoke to some great people, and I'm also looking forward to today because we have some great interviews lined up for you, one of which is one with Mark Wright, who is of course an Apprentice winner in 2014. So I've got lots of questions for him, and also we'll be talking to some of the other delegates and people here as well. I'm here now with Irina Oceanaya, and it's been quite difficult to catch up with you because you've been so busy today running around because you've actually put this whole show together. So how does it feel to actually see everything coming together?
I'm quite happy that all those people, they trust the idea, because whomever is exhibiting here, they're like real industry leaders, and for them it was a decision for them whether they would invest any money in this event, and they supported it's happening. And what I think now, we have so many great businesses coming in here. They're high quality businesses, so the only one thing I see is that we need to bring more and more businesses aware of the show, aware of the services of companies who are exhibiting here. That's the way for growth.
So it was your first one, and the first of many.
When I started at the college, we didn't have a website. So I finished school when I was 18.
So I'm now here with businessman Mark Wright, and you also all know him from The Apprentice. Now, Mark, you've actually had a dream to be in business from when you were very young. Well, you're still very young, but even when you were even younger.
Getting a bit older now, but yeah, that's right. My dream was to be in business, and when I was younger, I didn't know what type of business, but I knew I wanted to make money, and I knew I wanted to build something. And when I look at my business now, and it's got 2 offices and 30 staff, it's now more important than the money, and now I know which type of business I want to be in.
I remember 25 years ago, you used to come and deliver the beer to me yourself. Sometimes the restaurants would reorder.
I'm now here with Lord Billamoria, who is the founder and chairman of Cobra Beer. Hello, Lord Billamoria. Thank you so much for speaking to us. So I believe you came here when you were quite young as a student.
Yes, I came here at 19 to study from India.
And what was it like coming here, from another country? How did you cope, and what difficulties did you face?
Well, Britain has always been a great country for international students, and very welcoming.
Now, you had an idea when you were also quite young. Can you tell us what that was?
My idea was to produce a beer with the smoothness of an ale and the refreshment of a lager combined that would appeal to men and women alike, have a globally appealing taste, and accompany all food, and in particular Indian food. And that was Cobra Beer.
And one final thing as well, you mentioned about integrity and trust in your talk. Why do you think that's so important?
The most important aspect of building a business, yes, you've got to have the right product, yes, you've got to have the finance, you've got to have the people, but you've got to have the right values. And if you have integrity in dealing with your partners, dealing with your suppliers, dealing with your consumers, dealing with everybody, that integrity can carry you through everything, including the times when you nearly lose everything. And in my case, I've nearly lost my business 3 times. And the most important thing that saw me through those 3 times was, yes, I had a great team, yes, I had a great brand, we also had integrity.
Or should you be selling benefits? Trust me, there is no problem in the t-shirt market.
I'm here with award-winning mentor Chelsea Bacon. She's just given a fabulous talk here at the Business Funding Show. Chelsea, how was it for you?
Really great talk. There was so many people in the audience, who are going to be seeking investment and pitching. So really great audience, yeah.
Now, I know obviously there's a lot of people here that maybe they've tried to go it alone in their business. They found it quite stressful because no one really wants to invest in it, or they don't know how to go about investing. Why do you think something like this is so important to do, this kind of show?
I think they're testing the water here. They're coming up and speaking to me, and I'm giving them some advice on their business and how to get to the next stage. They're very fearful, a lot of, the youngsters especially, but people who are starting up their own business, they don't know which avenue to take. There's so many to take. I mean, 581,173 businesses were started last year. There's a lot of competition, and we're seeing a lot of kind of copycats, similar ideas. So people might get a little bit deflated or demotivated because they've seen another company offering what they're offering, and that's where somebody like myself will come in and make them feel better, make them feel okay.
So we've just met you here, and she's originally from China, but she's actually working in France. So you have lots of ideas, you were telling us earlier, lots of ideas for businesses, but you're not really sure how to make things happen. So that's the particular reason why you wanted to come here?
Yeah, that's why I want to come here, yeah.
And what has it been very useful to you, coming here?
Yesterday with the speakers, so I have a lot of motivation, I tell myself, no, do it right now, that kind of thing.
So it's good that you're excited about it, and it's true, these kind of events, they do motivate you, because you have people that actually believe in you first of all, and they tell you that you can do it. And even when times are tough, many of the speakers that have talked today and yesterday, they found things very tough, but they managed to push through and be very successful today.
Yes, it is.
So everyone, I've reached the end of our time here at the Business Funding Show. It's the first show ever of this type, so I believe it was really successful. Lots of great speakers, learnt loads, and I definitely recommend that if you are trying to start a business, or it's something that you're doing for the first time, definitely get that advice and that mentoring if you can, because it really does help you. So Mark, you were at the Business Funding Show as well, giving a talk, as we saw there. What was that like for you?
It was great to be part of the first Business Funding Show, really. I think when I was approached with the idea, I'm really passionate about funding, because I got turned down in my first steps to getting business funding. I was lucky enough to get it via the Apprentice, but I wanted to really give back and encourage people that if they got a good idea, there's funding out there.
It was really motivating. I thought so many people were pleased with what they heard.
It was amazing.
It was great.
Really
but you mentioned about the getting knocked back. Tell us about that, because that was quite a big thing in your life, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really. Just to carry on from where we were, I was working at a really big corporation, and I wasn't really happy with how they were running a few bits and pieces, and I wanted to go and do my own business. So I put a business plan together, and I think most people think when you want to start a business, what are the options? You go to the banks, right? I think most people, 9 out of 10 people, think that's the first option. So I put my business plan together. I went out to the banks, and they wouldn't even open an account for me, let alone give me a loan or give me money to start a business. And it was a really trying time, because as a young person, and let's face it, young people have all the good ideas, don't they? But the big banks wouldn't touch me with a barge pole. They were saying, look, maybe try this bank, maybe go down the road and see if they'll give you a shot.
How did that make you feel at the time?
It was really tough, and it almost made me give up, really, because I thought, God, you've got to have money to get money in this world. These people, it got to the point where I went to 4 banks to even open an account for the company, and they wouldn't do it.
Crazy, isn't it?
It was really interesting, and now I've got the banks banging my door down, wanting me to swap accounts. Oh, look, we'll do this, we'll do this, and we'll take you out for dinner if you move your account to us. And it's like, well, hang on a minute. When I had the idea, you wouldn't give me a go. I took that same business plan on the Apprentice, and we know what happened with that. So I find it really interesting that there is other ways out there other than banks to get funding, and that's why I think the show was really good.
Okay, well, how did you actually get on the show in the first place?
Well, okay, so that's another interesting story.
Quite a few interesting things have happened to you.
I think I watched that movie Yes Man once, where he just says yes to everything, and there's a lot of truth behind that. I think one of my good friends, a little Kiwi fellow called Blake, he said to him, I'm going to try out for the Apprentice, you should try out with me. And he sent me the application form, and I filled it out straight away. And I said to him, I filled it out and sent the application back, and I said, there's only one thing, what's the Apprentice? And he said, well, basically...
So you didn't link it to your business idea or anything at the time?
No, not really, because we don't have the Apprentice in Australia. We don't have the Apprentice in Australia. I didn't know who Lord Sugar was, and I hadn't seen the show before. So it was kind of like, I thought it'd be a good laugh to go and try something out fun. I love business. I thought it'd be really good fun to go along with my friend and try out. My friend forgot to fill in the application. So basically I've done it, gone along to the tryouts, and without going too much into the tryouts, it was one of the hardest few days I've ever done. You know, the stress that you're put under, the challenges that you're put through, you're put up against other people, and I saw people act like I've never seen before. When you really want something and you put an environment under that much pressure, people really turn into interesting figures. It was a tough time. People come up to me in the street and say, you know, some of those candidates, they're just crazy. But I say to everyone the same thing, the tryouts are really, really hard. You know, 50,000 people tried out in the year I went through. They took 20 on. So there's a level of sharpness there that, you know, people really don't appreciate. But when you put them all together and you're under the pressure that we're put under...
You push to your limits, aren't you? Really?
Exactly, and you go a bit crazy at times.
But what kept you positive even under all that pressure, though? Because
well, let's see.
I know you can't go into it too much, but
what I really wanted it. I think when you really want something. Basically, as I got into the show, I was the first in on day one. It was the 10th series. I was one of 20 candidates, and you're put up against the best people in each industry. You've got one of the best personal trainers, best accountants, best lawyers, and you're up against absolute gun people in business. The competitive streak in me came out. Now, you're under a lot of pressure, there's not much food, and you're stuck in a room with 20 people in the evenings. It was a lot like backpacking. So I think I'd had more experience than anyone because I'm used to sharing a room with 20 people in the afternoons. These other candidates weren't, so I wasn't used to not sleeping.
It's like you learned more than what you thought you would travelling, didn't you? So many different things.
Exactly, and I really enjoyed the competitive nature to it. I really enjoyed all of the tasks, and I learnt a lot about myself again. And I went in there thinking I was the best businessman from sliced bread. I wasn't. I had a lot to learn, and I've still got a lot to learn, but I really enjoyed it. And you know, even if I didn't win, I would be still sitting here a happy man for the things I learned and the people I met. But the fact that I was able to walk away with £250,000 investment from Lord Sugar, and just his mentorship alone was the best thing I ever did, and it changed my life.
What did it mean to you having someone sort of finally believe in your business idea and were willing to actually help you take it forward?
It was a very emotional day, the day I won, because not only the stress and pressure of getting through the process of The Apprentice and being the winner of that, and Lord Sugar didn't so much invest in my business plan, I don't think. I could tell he was investing in me. Yes, he liked the business and the idea, but he saw something in me and the passion that I had for it, which was the reason he invested, because there's only so much you can learn about SEO before he invested in me. He saw my passion for it. So the fact that I'd been turned down by so many people, so many banks, corporations, all of these things, and all I wanted was £25,000. He was prepared to give me $250,000 just because he liked the colour of my eyes and he thought I'd had a good 12 weeks.
Oh yeah, he's so funny to watch. He reminds me of my dad, actually. He's just very straight and direct with things.
Well, I remember the first time I ever went round to his place when we were setting the business up. The very first time I went round there, before we opened Climb Online, he said, come round to my flat. At this point, I'd won the show and I was so nervous. I went round to his flat. I had a 3-piece suit on. It's like a Sunday afternoon. I had my business plan and my resume. I was still wanting to impress him, even though I'd won. And I went round there and I gave him my resume and I said, Lord Sugar, here's my resume. He ripped it up, he threw it on the ground and he said, I don't care how far you can throw a boomerang. And I was like, oh wow, this is going to be a tough job.
But then you relaxed.
I relaxed. You get very used to it after a while. It's like my staff always say to me, because people say, do you see Mark all the time? What's it like? Blah, 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 blah. It's kind of like that for me with Lord Sugar. When you see someone week in, week out, you're talking to them every day about your business, you just realise everyone's a normal person at the end of the day, and he's just got a crazy, crazy work ethic where he's just driven, he works hard, he's very to the point, as you say, and that's what got him where he is today. And
that's something I remember that you mentioned in your talk as well, that if someone's done something wrong, he'll just say it there and then and never bring it up again, and I thought that was a really nice thing, even though it's kind of scary.
It's very scary, and people take people like Lord Sugar the wrong way, but I wish there was more people out there like him. And it's like my dad, it's honesty. If you've got a problem with someone, rather than going behind their back and saying, well, that person's a bit dodgy or this, that and the other, you go up to them, you say, this is my problem with you, either address it or we're not going to get on very well. And people take it really oddly the first couple of times, but it works out.
At least you know where you stand, right?
Exactly. I prefer it that way.
All right, Mark, we're going to go to a quick break, and then after the break we're going to be speaking to Mark more about his business Climb Online and some more tips that he's going to be giving us. So don't go away. Hi, I'm Chrissy B, and my show is all about improving your mental health and being happy. Join me every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 10 p.m. on my channel Sky 203. Visit chrissybshow.tv for more information and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Chrissy B Show. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Chrissy B Show and on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. Welcome back to our program on the secrets to a positive mindset. And I'm having a great talk here with Mark Wright. It's been really, really interesting speaking to you, Mark. But you're going to tell us more, because now let's go on to how you built your company and how it's going now.
Yeah, well, Climb Online's doing exceptionally. We've just turned 1, believe it or not. I can't believe a year's gone. I can't believe I've got more grey hairs. But basically, we've done a good first year. We've got over 200 customers. We've got 24 staff, 2 offices. And it's just been an incredible journey. We did over 1.6 million in sales in our first year. Amazing. And I'm told by other new business owners that that's incredible. We don't know any other way. We've got such a positive team. We have great staff, and we've all just worked really hard together to get where we are now.
Okay. Now, I noticed, because I do follow you on Instagram, there's some nice pictures that are posted there by your team doing some strange things, like some group activities and stuff.
I wish they'd work more than post on Instagram, but we have a good time. They made me buy a foosball table. We've got bean bags all over the place.
That's really nice.
I'm so lucky with the staff that we have and the culture that we have. Literally, I hate when I used to hear people say that it's not like I go to work. I literally go in and do what I love every day, and I'm surrounded by really positive people, and we've helped so many businesses. It's incredible.
How do you keep your team together, though? Because obviously it's not always easy working with people with different personalities, that come from different backgrounds. What do you do to kind of motivate them and keep them united like that, really?
Well, we don't take it too seriously, and it sounds really funny to say, but we come in, we have a really good time. We have a Monday morning meeting, which is basically me performing stand-up comedy. We do bowling or go-karting at least once a fortnight. We're out for beers once a week or cocktails once a week, and we work flat out from 9 till 5, but before and after that we spend time doing activities together, and I think it makes a real difference. And we've got a real culture where it's not about making money, it's about creating value, and people feel like they're creating a business, not working for one.
That's really nice, because it's like there seems to be the right balance there, because a lot of people just work all the hours under the sun and not take time out, not take time to be together, just to do fun things as well. I think that's why that also, by the way, affects people's mental health when they don't relax and they don't spend time outside of work, doesn't it?
We've never had to dismiss a staff member. It's never come to anything like that. We started the year with all of the staff, and we finished with those people at the end. It's just incredible. As we get bigger, I'm sure we'll have growing pains and staff pains, but at the moment it's about having a good time and showing value to our customers.
Brilliant. And where do you see the future with Climb Online? Which, by the way, can you just tell the viewers again what your company actually does? Yeah,
so Climb Online, believe it or not, we're the fastest growing agency in the UK last year, and the 6th fastest growing in Europe, I'm told. So we're on track, we're getting there, but we help businesses in the UK generate more leads for themselves through online marketing. So basically the easiest way to explain it is, if you've got a website, we put you at the top of Google and the other search engines, as well as a multiple of other services. But some of our customers have increased their number of leads and turnover by, I think one was 6,000%. I heard they got over 1 million leads last year. And it was just, when you change people's businesses like that, it's amazing. So if you're a business out there that's looking for more leads, give us a call and I'll come and say hi. I drink coffee, so come along.
Now, Mark, where's your goal? Because I know you're not going to stop here. What's your ultimate goal, your dream?
Look, we want to take Climb Online abroad. I'd love to open in Australia. That would make sure I get to see my family some more. Nice. We're in talks with Google about partnering in Dubai and looking at going to America as well. So for Climb Online, this is just the beginning. We really want to be the market leaders in search engine optimization and paid search, but certainly going abroad. For me personally, I'm looking at a multiple of other businesses, and I love mentoring people. people. I think I'm where I am today because I've been blessed to get investment and mentoring from the best people in this country, and hopefully what I've learned I'm able to give back to others, because having investment is one thing, but it's not enough. You need mentoring and coaching. It's really, really important, because I've had days in Climb Online where I thought, God, we're really up against it here. We're not going to make it through till tomorrow. I've been able to pick up the phone to Lord Sugar and to other mentors and say, right, this is what's happened today. And they say, Mark, it's completely fine. That happened to me. This is what we did. This is how we got out of it. And literally, I do as they say, and we're out of the woods. And it's been a real lesson for me that you can't do everything on your own. Sometimes you just got to say, this is my problem. Can you help me? And most of the time, people can.
Yeah, and which is obviously what we talk about all the time on the show, whether it's an issue that you have in business, whether it's an issue that you have with mental health, anything at all. You don't have to do it alone. There's always help out there, no matter, you know, what the issue is that you're going through. There's always help that people that you can talk to.
People just don't want to ask. And I was one of these people that, like, I'm a young guy, I can do everything on my own, I can do it all myself. Actually, if you want to be successful and you want to live a long, happy, healthy life, you need to share your problems and your burdens and be honest about where you are and where you need help, because let me know, no one's perfect. And actually, one of the things I was working on, which was completely wrong, which was I was working on my weaknesses. And the best thing I was ever coached to do was stop working on your weaknesses, just know they're your weaknesses, and go and make your strengths even better.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and so we've hired people to complement where my weaknesses are, and it allows me to go and focus on my strengths, and we've been able to bring on more business, retain more business, and grow Climb Online into something that's just one of the best businesses in this country, I think. Yeah.
That's really interesting, because you kind of think, well, I should work on the things that I'm not so good at, but then I suppose you end up taking everything on, and you don't really need to.
And being mediocre at everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, instead of being exceptional at a few things and say, right, I'm not really good at, I don't know, spelling and grammar in email, so I'll leave that to someone that's going to do that. What I am good about is going into a business and showing them how to generate more leads. I'm going to go and do that all day. This person's going to do all the emails and all of the legal stuff going out of the business, because I don't really enjoy that, or I'm not good at it. All of a sudden, bang, you're making more money than you were previously.
Now, Mark, I know you're a very positive person, but you must have your bad days sometimes. How do you pull yourself out of that?
God, that's a good question, because I'm like everyone. One of my staff said to me the other day, you don't have bad days, you know, you're the owner of the company. I said, I probably have more bad days than you. I said, the thing is you've got to remember to always turn up every day, and it's never going to be as bad as what you think. And the key is just to keep coming. And my dad has a saying, he says, he always says, you'll be right. You've just got to, what's he say? You'll be right. Just turn up the next day. And that's so true. You just keep turning up and keep that positive mind frame. It will be right. As long as you're learning and you can just take on everything with a positive mind frame, you'll be fine.
Brilliant. Such good advice. Now, Mark, just for the benefit of the viewers that are thinking of starting their business, and maybe they are getting a few knockbacks, maybe they've been to banks like you had and not getting very positive responses, what advice and tips would you give to them?
I was speaking to a young man today, and he said, Mark, I've been turned down twice for investment. I'm gonna go and get a job. I said, don't give up. I said, this is the best stories. I said, you should be thankful you've been turned down, because when you're a multimillionaire and you're successful, these will be the stories you tell of how you got told down. My tips for being successful and getting investment and growing a business is go into a business that you know. Go into something that you're working in currently or you have experience in. Investors don't like investing in someone that's doing something for the first time. Have a business plan, know your industry, and be prepared for failure. The more quickly you can fail and the more times, the more successful you're going to be.
Okay, great advice. Mark, thank you so much. It was so lovely speaking to you. You're giving loads of tips to our viewers, and, you know, about life in general, not just about business. That's really good.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. All right, guys, so don't go away, because before we end the show, we did promise you a video with Hannah Richards on a brain food recipe, because we do know that in order for us to be more positive and to think straight as well, we do need to feed our brains with the right kind of food. So let's take a look at this.
Hello and welcome to the MTS Kitchen. My name's Hannah, and today I'm going to show you how to make a really quick, simple and easy breakfast for some brain food. So, we're just going to take 2 avocados and Avocados are your easiest form of fat to get into the body because they're so versatile. You can put them in a salad, you can put them in a sandwich, you can eat them on their own. Inside your avocado pear, you've got your big stone, and all you're going to do is take him out. And it doesn't matter if you get some of the avocado as well, because we need to create a little hole for our baked egg that we're going to put in there. People often forget that you can also bake eggs as well. So that's what we're going to do today. So once you've got your 2 avocados scooped out, put them into your baking tray, and then take eggs. Now, if you see here, these white eggs are duck eggs, and these brown eggs are hen eggs. There's really not a lot of difference other than it's just a bit of variation in your diet. There's a lot of egg white in the eggs, and they can overflow the avocado. So let's just crack it into a little dish there. And then the main thing we want is this beautiful yolk. So I'm then going to spoon that yolk in. There we go. Then I've got room to just add some egg white. So they're going to go into the oven now for about 20 minutes on about 180, depending on how efficient your oven is. But I check them at about 10-15 minutes just to make sure. Then give them a little longer and pull them out. Then let them rest for about 5 minutes, and we're just going to chop some herbs. You could chop some chives on top, and they're ready to serve. Slightly different combination, baked eggs and avocado.
So thanks very much to Hannah Richards there. So we have reached the end of today's program, unfortunately, but if you guys have a comment about what you've seen today, please do get in contact with us at Chrissy B Show or comment on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. And if there's a topic that you would like to see covered here, maybe you have a personal story that you'd like to share to motivate others, or maybe you're going through a specific problem and you're not sure what to do, or maybe it's a loved one that you're worried about, please also get in touch with us via our website, chrissybshow.tv. Until next time, bye-bye for now.
Hi, it's Mark Wright here, winner of The Apprentice, business partner to Lord Sugar and CEO of Climb Online. Just been filming here with the Chrissy B Show, had a great experience.
But just before we continue speaking to him, let's take a look at day two.
Ah.